Thanks very much for coming to my session. My name is Lee Ali. I'm the owner and founder of Expo Stars Interactive. We're a global exhibition engagement agency based out of Manchester. For the last 12 years, we've been helping exhibitors all over the world to engage with our target audience face-to-face. So I've walked quite a lot of exhibition show floors, and we've seen a lot of technology coming up, and the general opinion seems to be that technology is taking over face-to-face engagement. My big question to you is event technology killing face-to-face human interaction at events like this, at exhibitions and congresses, conferences? So if you want to cue the first poll. So first question I would like to ask you is, do any of you use technology to engage attendees at events? Please vote now. That's brilliant. Okay, I was expecting that answer. So, sorry. Next question, please. Do you think that technology is actually hindering or supporting face-to-face engagement? Does it allow you to have meaningful interactions with your target audience, or do you think it actually gets in the way of a meaningful conversation? Supports. Okay, that's good. And the next one, please. And do you think that technology will replace face-to-face human interaction B2B? 100%. Really? Wow, that's scary. So, and the last one, please. How do you use tech in the engagement process? So we have a good split here. All of the above. That's good to see. So that gives me a... Okay, great. I think that's fine. So you can take that off, yeah. Right, so the reason why the big question is that with exhibitions, especially in business-to-business exhibitions, it's all about human interaction. You take away the booths, you take away the technology, you take away the carpets, and what do you have left? You have humans interacting with humans. So technology used in the right way, in my opinion, can actually support meaningful conversations at exhibitions. But used in the wrong way, it can actually have a detrimental effect to your whole exhibiting process. So a lot of the talk I'm going to do today is relative to exhibitions and business-to-business events. So exhibition success, like anything, like in business, you have to lay the foundations. Before you even start talking about technology, you have to make sure that you lay the foundations before the event and before you even choose what kind of technology you want to use at your trade show. So the key things that you can look at are obviously to know your why you're exhibiting, what is the purpose of actually going to an event. Is it to engage with new customers? Is it to upsell and cross-sell with your existing customers? Is it to create brand awareness? And that's where your journey starts, actually knowing the reason why you're actually going to that trade show. So a lot of the time, what we find is that businesses make knee-jerk reactions to getting a sales call from an exhibition manager saying we have spare space available, we have a great deal, do you want to come and exhibit? So there's no strategy behind and linking to the overall business strategy. So the best time to look at your strategy is always at the beginning of the year or at the end of the previous year when you have your business strategy and your business growth plans. After you've decided that you want to exhibit, obviously the next step is to choose the right exhibition. How do you do that? Ask questions to the organizer. Find out whether your target audience is going to be exhibiting, how many of your target audience is going to be attending the exhibition that you want to exhibit at. So, you can collect a lot of statistics from the show. You can also do a pre-visit to a show, get the feel for it, see what kind of audience is there, what's actually happening on the show floor, and get a general feel whether you think it's the right event for your company to attend. Set realistic and measurable objectives for your event. So I mentioned before, know your why. So look at what is, going to be what is going to be a successful exhibition for you. Is it the number of business cards? Is it the number of, your sales pipeline that you're going to increase, or is it just the number of footfall that you get on your booth? Obviously, understand your target audience. That's going to be one of the key things that's going to decide whether your event is successful or not. When you actually create your journey, understanding what your target audience is looking for when they go to a trade show is going to be very, very important. So the key thing is actually knowing why they're actually at the exhibition. And a lot of the time, the mindset of exhibitors is that they're there to actually sell and promote their products and services, whereas the attendees at an event are looking to learn new ways of how they can engage, of how they can improve their job, their situation at work, how they can do better, how they can gain more clients or improve their processes and the jobs that they have. So, and the next step is obviously that will actually allow you, once you understand your target audience, that will actually allow you to determine what your engagement strategy is going to be and plan your activity in terms of how you're actually going to engage them. And the last one, and one of the most important, is to actually select the right team to actually deliver that engagement process at the trade show. So we'll talk more about that later on during the presentation. So once you've actually laid the foundations of exhibiting success, then you can actually start planning how you're actually going to planning the engagement process and how you plan to achieve your objectives. So the key thing, again at the beginning, is to look at what kind of activity you need to do at your trade show to achieve a return on investment. And the activity is really a numbers game, and it should be linked to your business growth plan. So let's say next year you're looking to get a value of £100,000 increase in your turnover, and your average customer value is £10,000. That means that you'll need 10 new customers. So if you know that you need 10 new customers, then you obviously need to know how many callbacks or appointments will actually lead to you getting those 10 customers. So using a ratio that we've used for the past few years, we normally find that across the board that it's either a 4-to-1 or a 5-to-1 ratio to presentations to sales. Obviously that can vary according to the business that you're actually in. So callbacks appointments lead to qualified leads. So that again is a 4-to-1 ratio. So you're looking at 200 leads to get 10 customers. To get those 200 leads at a trade show, you'll need to do about 500 demonstrations. 500 demonstrations at a trade show. To do that, you will need 1,000 engagements. So 1,000 engagements at a trade show, 2 or 3 days long. How are you going to achieve that? And that's the key thing when it comes to employing technology, employing your people and your strategy, is to determine how you're going to achieve this matrix here to get those 10 clients. Obviously, these will vary according to your business. This is one of the key activities that you can actually do before you come onto the trade show floor. So 1,000 engagements, how are we going to do that? So what you need to identify is what are the key touch points are going to be in that sales process. So exhibiting is just one touch point, okay? And then obviously you've got your telesales, you've got your email marketing, you've got your social media channels. So what role is that exhibition going to play in that journey from taking a prospect to being a client? So and that's where you need to decide what role is that trade show going to play in that journey. So in terms of mastering engagement, a very big tech company called IBM came up with a model called BANT, and they trained all their salespeople to determine whether they had a hot sales lead or not. So in terms of engagement, what I've done is created something called the banter model. So what that means is you have to have these 6 things present in your engagement. Okay, these are the 6 things that you need to deliver as a result of your engagement. You need to know when you have your forms or your business cards or the data that you collect from an event, what will actually determine whether they become a client or not is whether you have this data or not. Do you know whether they have a budget? Do you know whether they have the buying authority, or are they an influencer? Have you actually determined a need for your products and services? And do you have a time scale of when that customer can actually do business with you? And then obviously you need to have empathy. You need to understand what their needs are in the business. What are they looking for? What are their challenges that you need to solve in order for them to become a client? And then obviously building rapport. Now, I've actually highlighted in bold the 3 things that are absolutely critical to creating a bona fide business leads. If you don't have these things, then chances are that that customer will not actually do a business with you after the event. So the question is, how do you actually use event tech to optimize engagement? There are 4 critical stages where event technology can actually be used to enhance that face-to-face engagement. The first one is to grab attention and arouse curiosity. So in this world of technology, I believe that a lot of attendees and a lot of people are in a trance. Okay, so you have people attending, they have access to their mobile device, they come to an event, they're worrying about things going on in their day-to-day life at the office. So you need to actually grab their attention in a way that arouses curiosity and they want to learn more. Now, I was walking around the show floor earlier, and there's a couple of great gadgets here. There's one which is the immersive technology down there where there's an umbrella and they have this thing. And that actually stopped my colleague, and we actually had a look and see what it was actually all about. And that's actually done its job. So you've actually stopped people, and then you can actually now approach them and actually create a conversation. So the next thing is to educate your audience. After you've grabbed the attention, the key thing is, again, is to ask questions, get to actually know your target audience, ask them questions. What are they doing at the show? What are their challenges? And that will actually determine how you can actually educate them about your business and how you can actually help them to achieve their objectives in their job or day-to-day work. So educating your audience can actually mean you can actually use many tools. You can use, as you see here, just a normal screen and a microphone. You can actually have a presentation on the booth. You can put bums on seats and actually give them a demonstration of how your company can help them with your products and services. You can use other technologies like VR, where they can actually put on headsets, and there's a few examples here as well. Or one of the best tools for face-to-face engagement is augmented reality. And I see in the audience is an augmented reality specialist. So if I can invite Milen on to talk a bit about how AR can actually influence that face-to-face engagement. Now, Milen, you've been doing AR for several years now, and you've worked on some fantastic projects. What key advantages does augmented reality offer, especially in a face-to-face environment?
Well, I think it has to be part of the strategy. Augmented reality, just for the sake of it, it's not going to work. Okay. So for the people who don't know what augmented reality is, it's bringing digital content onto the real world. So it's not like VR that you get into a virtual space and you lose your contact. It's actually you bring something for example, product visualization, and then you can interact with it. So and then you keep the conversation with the person in the stand. So yeah, that's right. One of the main advantages.
Can you give us any examples of projects where you've done where you've had a challenge to overcome, like for example a company that has heavy machinery where you've actually replaced it with augmented reality?
Yeah, I just recently worked with a client that have industrial pipes. It's something kind of boring kind of product. And so the way to engage was through augmented reality, bringing the pipes to life and making it interactive. And one of the problems we had is with the staff in the stand, that was a marketing decision, and then they actually didn't want to engage. So the staff training is absolutely essential as well for the success of the experience. Okay.
What one piece of advice would you give for companies looking to use augmented reality as part of their engagement journey?
I think it has to be really part of the strategy you talk about. It has to be thought in advance. Why are you using? What do you want to achieve? And the key thing also training the staff to know exactly how to demonstrate that and how to engage with the customer while they understand to get the right results.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Milen.
Thank you.
That's fine. Okay, great. So, and then obviously the third element is to capture valuable attendee data. That again needs to be interactive, human interaction, because you need to know the information that will actually help you engage with that customer after the event. So, and then obviously that data will also allow you to measure against your activity plan and your objectives that you set out at the beginning. And all of the above must be driven by human interaction. We have seen a few contraptions where you have the kiosks, for example, and they're there and people walk past and they engage with it. And obviously you can capture FaceTime, how much time people spent on it. But how engaged are they really in terms of knowing more about your company and wanting to learn more about your company after the event? So these are the questions that you must ask again when you're employing event tech at your trade show booth. So selecting the right team, I only have 5 minutes left, so I'll go through this very quickly. Looking at personality and communication styles, are they the kind of people who can actually step out, engage with your target audience, ask questions, and are they passionate about the brand and the service as well? Because this makes a big difference when you're talking, when you approach somebody at the booth and they're very passionate about what they do. That adds an extra dimension to the engagement process. I talked about, and one of the key things is having the ability to be a great listener, actually understanding, I talked about empathy before, actually understanding what the target audience is really looking for and what challenges they have. And once you have that information and turning that into features and benefits of your products and services. And we have a fantastic tool that will actually allow you to check what communication style your people are, and whether they're engaging or not engaging at the booth. And you can take a note of this URL, and you can also write to me for more details about this. Okay, so we have what we call the 5 E's of attendee engagement, and they all start with empathy, actually understanding your target audience, educating them, giving them an immersive experience into your brand, creating emotion, and creating a positive energy so that you have momentum to continue that conversation straight after the event. So measurement, key things. So there's a lot of measurement companies here doing analytics and every kind of information that you could possibly want after a trade show. So, and the key thing again is to design your feedback forms that are user-friendly and that actually are targeted to what you want to know from your target audience. You will want to know, obviously, your pipeline value and your costs, which is your return on investment. And again, choosing the software, you will need to choose something that is, very easy to use for you and gives you the information that you actually want. And also something that tells you your performance against your activity plan and where you and gives you the areas where you need to change for your next event. Some examples of event tech being used alongside event face-to-face interaction. So you have one of our clients, Terumo. They're a big pharmaceutical company from Japan, and they actually have a presentation with the headsets like you've got on. And what they do, they have 2 people at the front of the booth, engaging people, asking qualifying questions, and if they're a relevant target audience, then they get invited to view the presentation. After they've viewed the presentation, they can then fill out some appropriate information that will enable the salespeople to follow up after the event. So as you can see, it's a very busy booth. They've even got the forms not only on computers but also on paper as well. Here's one that we did recently in Barcelona at the Mobile World Congress. Again, big screen, lots of questions, 2 of our staff engaging people, putting bums on seats and doing a presentation and then collecting the feedback as well. So I think that's the end of my presentation. Anyone have any questions?
Yeah. Thank you, Lee. We have 2 questions. First one is, pull it up. What is an example of your most successful event tech? Okay.
The Terumo one was really great because that was a 5-minute presentation, and it was actually personalized to the attendees and in their language as well. So they could actually listen in their own language and they could actually learn. It was actually based on their requests when they actually were being asked the qualifying questions.
Okay, great. Next one, what market research would you suggest?
I think the market research is relative to your own industry. So we ask questions like, what are the most challenging aspects, what industry trends there are. So because when you go into an exhibition hall, the whole industry is in the room. So who better to ask market research questions than the industry? And that will actually allow you to create more content after the event and keep that engagement with your target audience.